Hello everybody, this is Vivek. This video is on the eve. I'm shooting this video on the eve of Indian military carrying out an attack crossing the LOC border and neutralizing more than say 38 terrorists. This is a message to everybody in India to let them know that this is obviously a turning point, but there have been so many attacks within Indian territory, Indian interests, for example, consulates and Indian people overseas all over the world, that there is not much to rejoice. It is too little, too late, and we have had to endure all the humiliation that our political leadership has caused all these years by not being firm and succumbing to a nuclear blackmail and using terrorism. Uh, I mean, our neighbor Pakistan has used terrorism under a nuclear blackmail against us for a very long time. This is actually disgusting. I always feel disgusted when politicians can't show strength. Now, lots and lots of defense analysts have always maintained, at least the literature I've been reading from last 10 years, that there is a space for limited military attacks and inside Pakistan, uh, but no politician or no political party or government has ever taken a decision like what Modi has done. So what I want to say this is just a starting. More and more attacks are going to come to India because that's what they want to do. They will continue to do, and we have to be prepared to a government and a military countering it all the time. And it is just going to escalate. Now, that is not to say that we should move away from that and uh, start to be embarrassed about it. On the contrary, what has always bothered me and what has always sort of an experience that I have lived, and I'm sure millions of Indians have experienced this, that kind of a humiliation, kind of a self-defeat, a kind of helplessness that this political cream of India has caused us, and all the so-called strategic experts and even to some extent military brass, that has forced self-restraint on us. This country is not a coward country. It's a very brave country, and just one call will mobilize millions and millions of people to fight against the enemy under any circumstances, including women. But what military, what strategic experts, and what government fail to tell us is this, that they don't have a complete understanding of the enemy and their true intent. Second is that we are at war since last 30 years or more, in an unconventional war, but there are many small battles happening all the time because at the end of the day, our soldiers are dying. I urge whoever listening to this video to understand that there has to be an urgency in the people, in the government, in the defense community that recognize the fact that we have been at war and we are at war, and it is only going to escalate very fast. There is a very urgent and present need to educate the people in a right way. This is something that nobody has ever done it, and that needs to be done. Lots of defense experts in the world has said so, that we are at war. But it took government and the defense community to come out with a solution or a step in offensive defense for so long. That is really bothering me personally, and it is bothering everybody. Why didn't we do this before? So a lot of time has been wasted, and I would request government and defense community to consider expediently to raise the capability of ROS to have a covert covert means of defending country. Basically, all the terror cells in the India has to be broken down fast enough, because there will be reaction to this attack, and not only that, this is only a start of worsening situation. This is the first start, and and it is a motivated, very dirty enemy. Tell all kind of lies as very determined, brutal enemy. So we can't lose any more time. I urge government and defense experts and defense community members to come out openly and tell people the situation as it is. Meanwhile, my request to all people is take my message seriously. Please do not depend on government to safeguard you. Whatever little you can do, please do it, because it's already too late. It's already too late. The conventional parity between India and Pakistan has not been maintained, and it will take many years for government of India to match the defense needs of the armed forces. And by 2018, my understanding is we will see Pakistan facing economic bankruptcy, and that is the time, which is not far from now, they will be emboldened to a very, very drastic military adventurism. And with them, all the hundreds and thousands of terrorists, which are basically the de facto army. Now, one of the other requests that I have to the government and the defense community is that should a contingent of Pakistan army attack an Indian army, and what could be that response? The terrorist attack in our context should be given the same importance and measures to be taken accordingly. Because at our side we have lost 18 soldiers. They have lost non-state actors, terrorists, which in fact they are working as an extension of Pakistan army. Of course, this will increase the heat in the. This will definitely worsen the situation further, but it will increase also preparedness on our side, and hopefully create an ability to do a fast response on any attacks that happens within Indian territory or Indian interest overseas. It needs to be done. This denial of Pakistan government and their military of their involvement on the attacks against Indian targets and Western targets has to end. I also request the world community and the defense establishment of India and the legal establishment of India and all the defense activists and whoever they are to lobby US government as well as our government to allow people to sue Pakistani government for their involvement in the death and destruction of government property of US and India and to sue Pakistan in due to their involvement into terrorism that is causing death of Indian and American civilians. In the same way, US has recently approved a bill to allow citizens to sue Saudi government's involvement in 9/11 attack. We have to do something about it because people are getting very angry and frustrated that all these military officers and the military handlers of terrorists are nothing is happening to them. They are roaming free in the world and they don't feel any danger to coming to them. So this tool has to be recognized as an effective tool to against those people in the Pakistani army who are supervising this kind of operations using terrorists. That's all for now. I'm happy we are changing course, but it's too little, too late.